A lot of people, especially coaches, like to talk about the advantages of just focusing on your play and not whether you won the game or lost the game in the end, which I've also put out videos about that myself. I think it's a very good mindset to have, but in this video I'm going to talk about why that mindset is so difficult to adopt, but it's still worth it. Let's compare the two, winning a game and playing poorly versus losing the game but playing well. Regardless of whether you play well or not, if you win and you get LP, then that means the next game, or after your set of games, as long as you went positive overall, you will be closer towards your goal, whatever that may be, your long-term goal, short-term goal, it doesn't matter. You're closer technically because your LP has gone up. And in the short term, that can be completely valid. If you only need 40, 50 LP, then sure, that win has a lot higher value. But if you care about your improvement as a player or your long-term goals, then it's not really going to matter all that much. Back to losing but playing well, the problem with that is there's no guarantee that you will play well the next game. Just because you played well this game or this day does not mean tomorrow you're going to play just as well. Sometimes you can have a really good day, still lose a bunch, and the next day you probably would have won all of the games if you played well, but you played absolutely trash the next day. It happens. This is where the mindset struggles. Because if you're consistently playing well, there's no problem. You will see the results, and you'll also be able to mentally hold on to that mindset because you can see the improvement. But when you don't see the improvement because you play well and then you don't play well, have this very inconsistent process going on, it's a lot harder to stick to that mindset and not focus on just the LP. Because at least with LP, you're getting immediate feedback that you can use to motivate you. Let's say I play well for 3 games today, but I lost 2 out of 3 of them. Tomorrow I queue up. I am lower than where I was the previous day, and unless I've taken away some really good learnings from them, I'm not even going to be confident that I'm going to play really well. You also have to consider that playing well, regardless of the circumstances of the game, is a lot harder than winning games. Especially because you can definitely autopilot and win some games, but you can't autopilot and play well. Those just do not correlate well. Unless you're smurfing, but that's not really relevant for this video. However, the advantage of focusing just on playing well and not whether you won or lost the games is that in theory, it is possible to have a 100% well-played ratio in your games. You may not win 100% of your games, but you can guarantee that you play well in 100% of them if you put in absolutely everything that you have. You're fully focused on the game, you're putting in all the effort that you have, you're not making any excuses, then you can either be close to or have 100% of your games be well played. Now, you may even have a bad KDA, but you'll be able to tell if you're playing at your peak level, or at least close to it, or if you're not actually putting in the effort. Especially because if you get complacent, you can start thinking, oh, I went 3-0 this game, so that means I played well, or I went 5-6, that means I played poorly. But no, just because the KDA at the end doesn't even necessarily mean that you played well or you played poorly. That goes back to the feedback difference. You win a game, you get the LP, there's no question on that. If you play a game, maybe you played well, maybe you're a little bit biased. For example, how do you determine if you played well based on going for an invade that you believe was good, but then you mechanically misexecute it? It gets hard to define it as a well-played game or poorly played, because some may think, yeah, it's well played because you had the right idea, but you could also say it's a poorly played game because you failed to execute on your plan. So you have to be really strict and keep it consistent on what you consider to be well played for your skill level as you're continuing to get better. But regardless of all that, if you are being genuine, you're not doing anything in bad faith, and you are marking down when you're playing well, when you're not playing well, and you look back at it, if you do have a lot of marks of playing well, your LP will go up. You won't even notice it because you're so focused on whether you played well or not, but in the long term, you will definitely see the results you're looking for. The extra benefit of this is that if you note that you're playing poorly in a lot of your games, there's no one else to blame but yourself. It's very clearly on you if you have it all marked down and can look at it objectively later on instead of being in the moment of how you felt about that game. As always, if there's any doubts, and you play top lane or jungle, you can hit me up on my Discord server. I can look at your games and tell you what I think. Think if you could have done definitely better, or if you're on the right track for getting better from your own skill bracket.